What's up, everybody? Major Dream Williams here. It's probably been a while since most of you have seen me, but I'm here, I'm alive. I am now in Melbourne, Australia, and let me give you a little quick background on just how I got to this space and place. So, many of you who know me out there know that I have been in the tech and innovation crypto space since as early as 2012, but more intensely since 2017, since I moved to Puerto Rico, which is where I've lived for the last 6.5 years. Beautiful place. Lived down there with many of those who made this space kind of what it is. Many innovators and many entrepreneurs who have done really well for themselves and who have become mentors to me, kind of helped me understand the ropes, how to innovate in business, how to take better care of yourself as far as taxes may go, as well as how to really think and build when you're trying to really build a nation. So a lot of those type of game and input you wouldn't really get just walking on the streets. So Puerto Rico really changed my life. And so after our last Hurricane Fiona, my house got flooded. I chose to go back to the States and connect with my development team, developing my project called Hanzo and Lux Partners, my blockchain. So we were living in San Francisco, doing the SF thing. I'm running around, joining hackathons. We were a part of Anthropic's hackathon, playing around with Claude. And this is about a year ago. And at that point, we, through the hackathon, developed a local LLM. That means, so a lot of things that the people are doing now, we did probably a year or so ago, as being the innovators that we are. And the fact that my team and my partner especially is really a genius. He's been in the AI space easily since 2014, been in the crypto space easily since before the white paper, let's just say that. Either which way, we had just gotten a nice grant from Google. I'm thinking all these things are about to turn around. I'm about to start making millions. And then life happens, as life normally does. So my brother, who is the love of my life, my first love, he's a professional basketball player, street ball legend, since retired and is living in Australia. Now, in the summertime, which last year, June, July, August it was, he's normally in the States because it's winter in Australia. So he's in the States doing the things that he normally does. NBA Summer League, pop into Rucker, and also becomes the party prince of New York, if you know Corey. So with that, he calls. He's not laughing. He's being very serious. Why you so serious, homie? Bro, I just heard something crazy. What? I got stage 4 cancer. You lying. Nah, bro, this is serious. Stage 4. Well, shit, what happened to stage 1, 2, and 3? Stage 4 colon cancer. So now I'm sitting in San Fran, staring at Alcatraz on Russian Hill, on top of this awesome apartment, and I'm sitting there contemplating, why did God bring this to me now? Was this some type of trade-off? Was I supposed to trade in my brother for wealth and stardom? All of this type of stuff is going through my head. Now, he's in New York. The family, obviously, everybody hears, my sister, my nieces, my cousins, everybody shoot to New York from Atlanta, from Jamaica, from Florida, in New York, from Cali. Everybody shoots to New York because what can we do to help? Now, if you know Caribbean families, mine is probably no different than some of them that you know, especially Jamaican families. We're all alphas. So everybody's there is fighting to see who loves him the most. You're supposed to use this. Boy, take this thing. Yo, well, you know, yo, you have to do low him, but you need to do this. You know, all of these type of things. And when you know there's too many cooks in the kitchen, it could sometimes spoil the stew. And not to say it spoiled the stew, but you need an environment of health and peace, not family competing to see who loves you more. Why can't we just all love him together the same? Nonetheless, you know, I come in and if you know me, I'm definitely about holistic health. I'm about alkalining the blood, vegan style. You know, if you know Dr. Sebi, if you know how the Rastas operate, that's what we're depend on. We're depend on natural things, so juices. And your goal is not to fight the cancer. The goal is to allow the body to heal. And if you give the body the right things, the body will heal. That's my mentality. So I show up. My brother, who is also an alpha, has his own way that he wants to work. So he says, you're not going to just juice me to death. And I'm like, that's kind of like why I'm here. So I opt to just support. Cooking for him every day, sending food, juicing him every day, sending him juices. And I'm talking about the more bitter, the better. All of the herbs, all of the bush, all of them type of thing that we can get from yard, we'll do it. And then some. Plus, we're in the States, so you know you get all of the really good, you know, kind of alkalining foods and all the superfoods that you can find in the States. So we're spending money, and you know those type of things cost, but you're not going to spare any expense when it comes to saving your loved ones, right? So we're there upon it. This is why we're in these innovative spaces, tech spaces, crypto spaces. When you have that money, your goal is to spend it on the people that you need to spend it on. So he chooses to do, you know, conventional. What does conventional mean? Chemotherapy. And you and I both know that chemotherapy has been one of, if not the easiest way, the most effective way to kill everything. All the good cells, all the bad cells. And if you don't have a strong immune system, you, my friends, are fucked. Okay? Now, my brother, an athlete, a retired athlete, as in most retired athletes, they don't stay up on top of their health. They're fit, people love them, people party with them. He's a big drinker. So all of these type of things are acting adversely. So when you are doing the chemo, you don't necessarily have the other aspects to keep the body going. Now, nobody really knows this because all of this is happening internally. Now, he ends up opting to go back to Australia. One, because we really don't have a family house in New York anymore. Everyone is staying at, you know, cousins' houses, hotels. All of this stuff is starting to add up. So he goes back to Australia, where he has a 1-year-old and a baby mama. Now, he comes back to Australia because it's where he's been living for the last 12 years. I say, okay, cool, great. I'm going to take off and go to Thailand to keep my AI agency going, where I can also hire some cheap devs and be a quick flight away from my brother. In Thailand, maybe about 2 months, He calls me, bro, it's kicking back up. I got 6 weeks. I need you. Drop everything. Take off to Australia. Now, he tells me all of this, but you know how prideful these alphas can be. And it's not like he's like thinking he's gonna die. He's just telling me what the doctor says. Now, I understand who he is. And remember what I said, folks. You cannot beat cancer. You have to allow the body to heal. What that takes is a change in mentality, right? You go from alpha being you, knowing that you can fight through things, to turning and allowing your body to heal, which is a little bit more of classically feminine, more of, what would that be? So alpha, beta, right? Other side of it. So that's not what he is. So at this stage and point, me knowing my guy, I'm like, this just may be the last time that we rock. So now I'm doing these mental gymnastics in my head before I even leave Thailand to go. And remember this, he's not even trying to accept that this is his last go round. He's having interviews, he's meeting people, he's telling them all of this stuff, how he's gonna fight this thing. So to keep him happy and not make it look like this is going to be his last go round, I have a return trip to Vietnam on the 27th of May. So I tell him, look, I'm down there to the 27th of May, so we gonna do this. He's like, all right, bet. You know, calls me George, Jorge, we riding. Just come down. I don't want to hear nothing about tech. I don't want to hear nothing about Bitcoin. I don't want to hear nothing about entrepreneurship. I don't want to hear none of that. I just want you to be my brother. I want you to come down and cook some good things for me. I want you to take pressure off of, you know, my the baby's mother and his daughter. I just want you to just be my brother. No problem. Ego aside, all of that, I just hop right in. All I want to do is give my brother a hug, tell him how much I love him, and just be there for him. And as you probably know, if you've never been around anyone with cancer, sometimes they're not very pleasant to be around. They're angry, they're upset, they're tired, all of those things. So if you're going to be around as a caregiver, your goal is to accept all of that and just give love. Give love, give love, give acceptance, give all the good things. So it was some of the best times of my life because me and my brother got a chance to have a lot of our one-on-ones. We got a chance to put all of our, any type of grievances that we had, we put it out there for each other. And I can tell you this, by the time it was time for him to transition, our hearts were filled with love and he went peacefully. You know, so on May 10th, it was May 27th, I took off, went to Vietnam. Now, in Vietnam, what I ran into, I thought I was going to have a lot of peace, but what I ran into was a tech conference, AI, Web3. So I was just right back into the mix, which was a great distraction, a welcome distraction, where I found even better tech teams, started innovating, started working on why I am back here in Australia, which is to protect the athlete. Now, there's a whole industry that is based off of the athlete, whether you are a team owner, whether you are a broadcaster, whether you are an agent, manager, for that matter, if you're a hanger-on or a thought. A lot of people make money off of athletes, and a lot of athletes, they're geniuses, but they're geniuses at their sport. A couple of things that they don't pay attention to: their health, their finances, their well-being, how to cook, how to clean, how to really just be a person. A lot of them don't have mentors outside of their sport. A lot of them, when their sport is over, their game is done. Guess what? They don't even know who they are. Most athletes are broke within 5 years. And This is what I hear from a lot of people, a lot of athletes, not just athletes, a lot of people, millionaires, billionaires. Some of these people don't even like their families. Remember this, an athlete's life, half of it, they're on the road. Most of it, they don't even hang around their wife. A lot of times their wife, they met in the hotel lobby or in a random place, got pregnant, now we're here together. So when you now have time to live together, and for those of you who had to stay around your spouses during COVID, look, there was a lot of breakups, a lot of divorces, because you had to actually like these people. A lot of these athletes don't. A lot of these athletes don't know who they are. They've been playing a game since they were 7. They've been told that they were going to be great since they were 7. Now they are 37. That's 30 years of hearing something. Now you have to transition to be something else. Some of them, they just don't have the tools for that. Now, there's a lot of things that are out there that can help. But I can tell you this, we now live in the world of tech, AI, Web3. The ability to take knowledge, use it in a whole different ways without having that friction that normally comes when you have to get an agent, a lawyer, a financial advisor, a doctor, a professional coach. All of these people who have their own interests, but yet they tell you that they're here for you. And then when that day comes, when you take your last breath and then you realize that things weren't set up correctly and you have family fighting and scraping and scrambling after something, or that day that you take your last shot and now you realize the money that you had saved wasn't enough, or you realize the woman that you married wasn't there for you. She was there because of who you are, or in that case, who you were. Very hard pills to swallow, folks. Very hard pills to swallow. So I decided to say, you know what? All of this information I know, all of this tech and stuff I know, let's focus it on something that can really help. Because entrepreneurs, remember this, it's not about your idea. It's about whose problem are you solving. I'm here to solve your problem. I'm here to solve the athlete's problem. I'm here to solve the entertainer's problem. I'm here to solve the gamer's problem. What is life after the sport is over? Who is really watching your finances, reading your contracts, making sure that your flights are booked? You're hiring people, you're spending money, you get to a lifestyle that you feel that you can continue after you're done. And guess what? You cannot. You don't understand finance. You don't understand money. While all of these things are going to change right now, all in front of you. You don't know best practices. You got this thing right now called NIL. Name, image, and likeness. They're taking your name, image, and likeness, speaking to you in English, but yet using it in French, Spanish, Russian, Italian, Slovakian, all of these different languages that you can't follow. You don't know where they're using it. They're using your digital image in some place that you have never even been. How can you track that down? Who is monitoring it for you? What type of laws are changing? I play basketball in a different country. Guess what? You come from the United States. You are now playing basketball in a Commonwealth. What does that mean? Right? Does that affect you? You live in a Commonwealth. You're playing basketball in the United States. What does that tax strategy mean? Why are you looking at yourself like an employee and not a business? This is the sports business, folks. That's what this is all about. This day and age, you don't have to know everything, but you do have to be around the people who can get you the information that you don't have. And rather than have a whole team, you can have a smaller team. that are doing way more, that have so much more access, and who are being transparent, whose moves you can track, and who can give you all the angles. How about that? That's the type of world that we live in today. You're hearing all of this AI stuff? Look, I get it. It's daunting, it's scary. What can I do? Well, what you can do is listen to me, listen to the podcast. This is what I'm here for. I created a podcast called The Infinite8. What we focus on is talking to you, the athlete, to you, the entertainer, to you, the gamer, and show you how tech can help your life. Not just while you're playing, before you're playing, and run along with you. Why not have mentorship all the time? The one thing that COVID showed all of us is that we can live online way differently than just dating apps. We can get therapy, we can get food, we can even book our own flights. Now, I'm showing you that you can manage yourself like a business. Forget being a high-paid employee and giving all your taxes away. Figure out different tax strategies and use yourself like a business. Hey, look, check this out. This is our first conversation, but hopefully this won't be our last conversation. So subscribe and look out for the Infinite8 Podcast. Look, I know this. My brother has done a lot in this world. He may not be with us physically right now, but his name, image, and likeness will live on forever. His wisdom wasn't just for us and the family. It's for you to get yourself off the block, out of that court, off of that street ball, and turn it into something that can get your family out of the hood. That's the goal, right? To get your family out of the hood, to do better for yourself, to go see the world. How are you going to do that if you don't really get the wisdom from somebody that has done it? Look, I've seen the world over and over again. I've been involved in quite a bit of innovative technologies, as well as been around some opulent wealth and some big time families. And I picked up a lot of good details from them. Now, my job is to give it back. Got 3 jobs in life, folks. Be happy, don't hurt anybody, and move the culture forward. One thing that Corey Williams really wanted to do was move the culture forward by utilizing his stories. Because that's all we are. Just a whole bunch of IP. Our goal is to give it to the next one so they can move this a little bit further. So I'm just doing my part. So check on the podcast. So what that would be: iTunes, Spotify. It's called the Infinite8.